Hello and welcome to your quick preview for budgeting for first-time home buyers. Very exciting time of your life, very exciting stage, and there's so much to learn and so much to do. And you don't need to get yourself overwhelmed. We have got it sorted for you. So let me just show you through just quickly some of these pages. So here's your welcome page and a little bit about me and my story. And then we go into your table of contents. So what's included in here is your money budgeting, your borrowing and affordability piece, key piece really, who you will need on your team and why, and also how much does it all cost. So I think when you're getting your deposit together, you might think, oh, that's it. We've got our 10, 20 grand together. That's all we need. No, there's quite a lot more to it than that. And we'll show you why. So the process step by step and timeline. And every timeline is a little different, but it works along a very similar thread. It's when you talk to the people on your team that you will know exactly how your timeline is going to sit for you. What do you need to prepare for? What about bills, council tax, and all that other stuff? A list of resources you might want to look at separately, all free. And then your moving day countdown and your new home starter checklist. So here we go. Chapter 1. So it's just getting your ducks in a row in terms of if you're buying it as a couple, are you on the same page with everything that you're looking to do, everything you're looking to achieve? Do you know what kind of property you're looking for? All of this foundational stuff needs to be sorted out from the very beginning in order that you are going to be starting off together as you mean to go on. If you're buying solo, as I did and have done since, this is just a little bit of pause for thought for you, because it's very easy to get carried away when you look on Rightmove and all the other websites. You think, oh, I love that one, I love that one, I love that one, and suddenly it can get really overwhelming. So I think when you get your non-negotiables list, particularly, so for example, off-street parking is a must. Maybe you absolutely have to have 2 bedrooms, maybe you absolutely have to have a garden, whatever it might be. Pop your non-negotiables down and then you can start from there. So the principles of how getting a mortgage works is on this page here, and some steps that you can go to with regards to how to even get off the ground. There's a variety of ways that you can get your mortgage created for you, either via a mortgage broker, an advisor, or with your bank. And here's a look at all of those options. My advice would be have a look at one of each, and then you can kind of get your bearings about what is on offer for you. So your team, I think it's very important to think about this as this is going to be your team. There's going to be a bunch of people that you're going to need to work with. Essentially, they're working for you. And I think that's quite an important way to think about it. So you're going to need your mortgage broker / advisor. You're going to need estate agents. You're going to need someone to go with you, especially if it's your first time or you're very unfamiliar with buildings and looking at things like damp and windows and doors and roofs and stuff like that. Definitely on your first or even your second visit to a particular property that you like, take somebody with you that you trust, who's got a bit of an eye for that kind of thing. Your solicitor is going to be on your team, and the difference between conveyancing solicitors and regular solicitors. Surveying. Now, this again is optional from your point of view. So I explain the difference between the 2 types of surveys that you might have, and the fact that the lender is probably going to ask to look at your property either in person or probably more likely online and do a valuation survey. And that's to make sure that if they're going to be lending you all that money, they need to know that, you know, should the worst go wrong and you can't afford to make your repayments, they've got a really good property to get back and recoup their money. So how much is your team going to cost? Now, this is the really important thing to factor in, because it's not just the deposit. As I said, you're going to need a certain amount of money put aside, particularly for some of these service partners that you're going to be working with. So there's some really good guidelines there. Clearly, everybody's situation is going to be very different, but this is a really good gauge for you to start to think about that. Chapter 3, we then have a look at the process step by step and typical timelines. And again, it depends on the market, depends on your area, depends on a lot of things. Very much depends on the chain. So the chain is where you're buying a property and there's somebody already living there. So they're looking to buy somewhere else, and they're looking to buy somewhere else, and on it goes. I mean, some of these chains can be very, very lengthy and complex. Others are very, very simple. You may be moving into a new build, in which case it's going to be very simple indeed. But here is a good timeline for you to use so that you can get your own personal bearings about what that looks like for your situation. So here's a nice page for you to pop who is on your team, how and who you're going to choose for your mortgage broker, your estate agents, etc. So you've got places on here for their email and phone number, but also their arrangement fees or anything else relating to fees. You can have it all in the one place, and your own personal timeline can be mapped out. Say, for example, you visit your mortgage broker next month. It happens to be it's April. And then maybe you're also seeing your estate agents in the April as well. Then you're going to start to view some properties after you've got your mortgage in principle offer, and that's going to be probably around May time. Then if you find something in May, happy days, then the solicitor then would kick in immediately, and then so on and so forth. So you can actually start to timeline everything out for yourself. So here's a checklist of what you're going to need in terms of the key processes. So you're going to be becoming the legal owners of your home, and that normally generates council tax, for example. You might need to register for parking permits. You're going to be looking at your bills, your utility suppliers, and for that I can help you. Please come back to me on that one. Here's some key resources for you. Some of mine, some I've collaborated with, and some others out there that are consumer places. For example, which.co.uk, gov.co.uk is a fantastic one. Citizens Advice, and space for you to write your own that you've found yourself. So the countdown begins. So from 8 to 10 weeks-ish until your moving day. Obviously, it all depends on where you are. If you're currently renting and you're moving into your first purchased home, it looks a little more complex than perhaps somebody who's moving out of their parents' house. But here's a really good list to get you thinking about what to do in advance, so that it's not all a massive last-minute panic. Here you go, 4 weeks to go, with some space for you to put your own details in there. 2 weeks to go, and in the last week. On moving day itself can be pretty frantic. Take it from me, there can be tears and tantrums all around. So having a little bit of a plan in place before that is going to make you enjoy your day so much more. By all means, add your own things in here, but here's some things from me that I would definitely advise you to do. And my biggest tip of all, it's in there, but it's when you're wrapping up your bed linen, make sure everything's fresh on your bed. So you've got your fresh towel, fresh towels as well, but fresh duvet cover on your duvet, fresh pillowcases, etc., etc. Wrap it all up neatly in a bin bag so it's all protected from the elements. When you move into your new home, after you've done all the absolute basic of everything, getting everything in, getting the kettle on, etc., etc., the first thing to do, get your beds made up if they have to be, well, like most of, they have to be physically screwed and unscrewed, etc., to get them together. Then get your bed on. I'm telling you, when you're absolutely knackered and close to tears later on this evening, you'll be so glad that you've got a nice bed to fall into without getting upstairs and going, oh no, we've got nowhere to sleep. So that's a really good tip. So your new home checklist. There's going to be some things that you're going to want to buy. If this is your first time of moving out your parents' house, for example. Now, this list is not exhaustive, but it is the main stuff that you're going to want for your kitchen, bathroom, and your cleaning. And there we are. We move into the budgeting section, which is the Excel worksheet, which will help you to get prepared for your mortgage advisor and your lender. Affordability is massive right now in terms of them being able to lend you that money. And you will find that that particular budget plan will be brilliant for planning out your first year in your new home when it's a reality. And also from every single year. So rinse and repeat every single year after that. Hope that's helped. I hope you enjoy it. Leave us some good feedback or come back to me. If you're not happy, you want something to tell me, think something should be changed, please also come back to me. I'm very happy to work with you on any questions that you've got. Take care and good luck with everything. Keep me posted.